Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Martins Dixon. The wife of Cameroon's Vice Prime Minister Amadou Ali has been kidnapped while 3 other people have been killed in an attack by Boko Haram fighters on Ali's home in the northern town of Kolofata. A local religious leader and mayor, Seyni Bokar Lamen, was also kidnapped in a separate attack on his home. Boko Haram fighters clashed with the Cameroonian army in cross-border attacks twice, killing 4 soldiers. Cameroon has deployed more than 1,000 soldiers along its border to help combat the armed group. And latest reports say a bomb blast has occurred at St. Charles Catholic Church, Sabongari in Kano. We will bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. Police detectives have arrested an officer of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Idris Saidu, in Mina, Niger State, for alleged illegal dealing in arms and ammunition. 2 AK-47 rifles and a large chunk of ammunition were recovered from the suspect after his arrest. Police spokesman Frank Mba said that the NSCDC personnel confessed that the weapons were meant for his maternal community, who are presently engaged in a communal crisis with the Fulanis in Taraba State. He added that the suspect has given useful information that will lead to the arrest of his accomplices. Military authorities in Maiduguri have commenced the enforcement of no movement order. The plan is to stop vehicles from moving on the streets in order to check the alleged plan of Boko Haram to bomb public places during the Eid al-Fitr celebration. A press statement says the restriction is to commence on Monday through Wednesday, but the military has already enforced the no movement order, taking residents by surprise. The closure of the road has led to difficulty for residents to carry out their daily activities. The Police High Command has ordered commissioners of police to personally supervise the special security deployment during the Eid al-Fitr holidays. They are also to ensure a 24-hour surveillance of their respective area of operations. Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar says the directive is to ensure a hitch-free celebration. He also directed the commissioners of police to pay special attention to securing public places and other points prone to attacks. The police boss specifically wants them to consider local security realities before deploying equipment and men during the period. The Ogun State Police Command has deployed more than 4,000 officers for the Eid al-Fitr celebration. According to the State Police Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi, the personnel are drawn from almost all police formations in Ogun. They are deployed to major places including worship centers, expressways, recreation centers, among others, for adequate protection of lives and property during the celebration. He said the deployment was contained in the Operation Order prepared and signed on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Ikemefuna Okoye, by the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Department of Operations, Agberebi Akpoyebi. He added that all area commanders, divisional police officers, and heads of departments in the state have been directed to be on their toes to ensure a crime-free celebration. Senate President David Mark is seeking a collective action to end terrorism as Muslims across the world mark the end of the Ramadan fast. Mark also congratulated them for the successful completion of the fasting and prayer, which he said the nation desires at these trying times. He also noted that the prevailing situation does not call for blame game, while making a case for more public confidence in the ability of security operatives. Mark lamented that over 200 Chibok secondary school girls are still missing, more than 100 days after they were abducted by Boko Haram. He, however, assured Nigerians that all the strategies and contacts being done by the federal government, coupled with international cooperation, will yield the required dividends soon. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has appealed to Muslims in Nigeria to pray for an end to the insecurity currently haunting the country. In an Eid al-Fitr message marking the end of 30 days month-long Ramadan fasting, the former vice president regretted that the terrorists have shed so much blood in the name of religion. He advised Muslims to join hands with other Nigerians of goodwill to defeat the terrorist agenda of provoking sectarian crisis by attacking the places of worship. Atiku also noted that Nigeria must unite against the insurgents because they don't spare Muslims or Christians in the course of their activities. Nigeria's authorities are now taking steps to stop Ebola virus from causing a health crisis in the after confirming that it has spread to the country. They are set to sensitize the public on the virus as well as post more health officials to all entry points. The government has, however, ruled out the possibility of shutting Nigeria's borders with neighboring countries. The report.
It's now official. The deadly Ebola virus has found its way in Nigeria after causing a health crisis in Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. Soon after the Liberian who had earlier been quarantined in Lagos had died, government officials hurriedly met in Abuja to push out a national response. One of the decisions is that more health officials are to be posted to the borders to prevent infected people from coming in from affected countries.
On the 22nd of July this year, which means a few days ago, the Federal Minister of Health was alerted on a suspected case of Ebola virus disease in Lagos. And this involved a 40-year-old male who traveled from Monrovia in Liberia to Nigeria on Askai Airline via Lome, Togo. This passenger arrived Lagos through the Muritala Mohammed Airport on the 22nd of July this year. He presented with fever, vomiting, and diarrhea on arrival at the airport. The Port Health Division of the Federal Ministry of Health quickly isolated the passenger and transported him straight to the hospital, avoiding contact with the general public. The patient was subjected to thorough medical evaluation, where laboratory investigations were also carried out. His blood sample was taken to the advanced laboratory at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUTH, which confirmed the diagnosis of Ebola virus disease. This result has since been corroborated by other laboratories outside Nigeria.
The government is, however, ruling out the possibility of shutting the nation's border.
So there's no question of vaccination. But the present protocol is that if you are sick, you don't have to travel. So these are things we're also appealing to other countries that they need to enforce all those regulations, including the airlines and so on. The airlines are aware that before they move a sick person, they must have a report from a appropriate medical personnel stating what the disease is like and what kind of transport that is being recommended. So Nigeria cannot close border. The countries who want to close border, they don't have it yet.
Ebola is a deadly ailment that is now an epidemic in some West African countries. But the Nigerian authorities, which a few months ago went on the air to deny rumors of Ebola spread, are now set to push out health alerts. This is with a view to raising awareness.
Communication on the outbreak of Ebola, unfortunately, which has taken place in Lagos. There are other measures we are taking to reach out to the people. Already there are jingles that have been prepared by the Center for Disease Control in the Ministry of Health here. Those jingles are already on air, particularly on radio and television. We are going to increase the broadcast of those jingles in all radio stations in the country. And I would like to appeal particularly to the private media, because this is a national emergency. This is not something that we will succeed if we demand for money to be paid by the Minister of Health to send out this, broadcast these jingles to the people of Nigeria. So we're embarking on a number of measures for public awareness.
For now, government officials insist there's no cause for alarm, but they also want Nigerians to be careful because of the deadly nature of the virus.
The World Health Organization said it had deployed experts in Nigeria to help with safe handling of the remains of Patrick Sawyer, the Liberian who died of Ebola virus disease on Friday. The medical experts in Nigeria are working closely with the World Health Organization and partners to ensure that the case is contained at the source. The World Health Body also said that 96 new cases and 7 deaths were reported from Liberia and Sierra Leone between July 21 and 23. Sawyer, who reportedly worked with the finance ministry in Liberia, became the first case of Ebola to be confirmed in Nigeria since its outbreak in other parts of West Africa. Meanwhile, the federal authorities said it has taken various steps to secure the nation's airports from the deadly Ebola virus. According to FAN, the rising cases of Ebola in West Africa has become a source of concern to the authority, and international airports have been placed on red alert. The General Manager Corporate Communications FAN, Yakubu Dati, said that screening centers had already been set up, especially at the international airports, to screen every incoming passenger, especially those from countries where the virus had been recorded. He added that airlines operating both domestic and international flights had also been alerted to be on their guard as regards the virus. Experts have also called on Nigeria's health authorities to establish effective disease surveillance around the country to prevent any infection in the populace. Meanwhile, some residents of Osun State are beginning to lament what they claimed as hard times. The residents, mostly traders, say economic activities in the state have plummeted. They attributed the cash crunch to capital drain. Correspondent Franco Malape has more in this special report.
Apart from being a largely civil service state, the people of Osun engage majorly in farming and retail businesses. While some of them are traders, others are involved in transportation as a means of livelihood. For this young woman, her foodstuff business is thriving despite the cash crunch in the state.
You know, our business like foodstuff, every day people have to eat. So people is buying, is moving.
Motorcycles and the popular Korokpin, a Yoruba word which when translated means minibus, are a major means of transportation here. Ademola is a school teacher engaged in the transportation business. He says he's in the business to augment his salary. He speaks more his experience.
We are trying to manage the family with the little we are earning from it, and we can save just about 40 or 50,000 naira per month if we really do it fully per day. At least we ought to deliver 2,000 naira per day. 2,000 naira, but for someone who owns it himself, you know, you can do more.
Rising unemployment, which is not peculiar to the state, has also been faulted for the current situation.
You know, most of the people of Osogbo here, they used to travel out to go and work. People who are now in the state, they are from different places. So agriculture is part of it. People are going farm, trading. Because there are no much industries like Lagos here.
Wahid, a young aspiring man who is not happy with his commercial motorcycle business, claims he's involved in it to help his family.
I'm doing this business because I'm not doing ordinary work, because I have a certificate to do the work. Based on the population of the people when they are at town, I need to do the work, maybe from there I see help.
The forthcoming August 9 governorship election appears crucial for the future of the economic activity in the state. Some residents say they expect the next government to focus on the welfare of workers in the state.
In the area of youth empowerment and the civil servants, we want the civil servants to be well treated, to be regularly paid as at when due, so that it can also affect the economy of we belong to the private sector.
I will advise the next government, if they come to power, they just have to deal with the workers. I mean workers in the state.
Ademola, who is passionate about his family, would prefer the government engages the people in direct labor.
Most of the jobs the government is doing now, they didn't carry along the people in the town as a laborer. They should employ them as a labor so that they will earn through the direct labor. But it seems that these people that are doing the job, they were new people. Maybe they said they were from Lagos. We don't know.
Perhaps the most lucrative trade in the state at the moment is teaching.
It's the only teaching profession that is not backward. I think our stamina. So we have people on the teaching line. That is the only major industry I can see that has people money here.
Ahead of August election, agitations have been raised by residents of Osun State in the area of meaningful government policies that will positively affect the lives of people. From the Osun State capital, Osogbo, I am Frank Omalape, CoreTV News.
The president of Women Arise Initiative, Joe Okeodumakin, has described increasing rise in domestic violence in Nigeria as a failure on the part of women's inability to speak out when in danger. Olajumoke Olatunji has more in this report.
Batching is a pattern of behavior used to establish power and control over another person through fear and intimidation. In Nigeria, wife batching by the male fox has remained a symbol of strength for some men. This is the case of Fatima Bankole, a Lagos resident who narrated her ordeal in the hands of her husband of 14 years.
On 16th of this month, we had a quarrel with my husband. We are 3, but one has already left, so I'm the first one. And we used to share the cooking during the month of Ramadan. So I finished my own part. So the youngest wife is her turn to cook. So on that day when we finished breaking, so and she was there when I was serving the food. Normally when we cook finish, everybody will go to kitchen to serve himself. So as she served the husband finished, I went there to serve my own food. Then she was there when I served the food. I don't know what happened. Later, the husband called me that what happened with the food where we eat. I said, nothing happened. He said the youngest wife said she bought fish with her own money. Then I had the fish. And I told him that she was in the kitchen when I was serving the food. And we both ate here together. So I didn't take any fish. So that was what happened. And he got angry with me, started blowing me.
One of the coordinators of Women Arise in Lagos, Abiola Ojo, describes Bankole Kamoru, the husband in the front burner, as a wife batterer.
The issue was not incidented at the police station, probably because I think that should be about the 4th or 5th time and in-house settlement and the rest. But what actually happened was that upon getting to the police, if the man has a fight there, unfortunately, the same investigating police officer that handled this previous case with his former wife is equally handling this now.
The president of Women Arise Initiative, Joe Okeodumakin, expressed bitterness and deep concern over the developments and admonished women not to cover up wife battering spouses.
We want to use this opportunity to call on husbands to realize that marriage is not competition, but to complement each other. To also realize that wives are vulnerable, they are weaker vessels. They are just there to help their husbands, and so they should not touch them. They are not, it's a home and not boxing ring. Apart from that, we also need to let men who perpetrate these heinous acts realize that there is a law that stipulates punitive measure to anyone that physically or even psychologically or mentally, attacks the wife.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has promised to look into the issue and other cases related to rise in domestic violence in Nigeria. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
You're watching CoreTV News on the hour live from Lagos. We'll be taking a break and we'll be back to continue. Stay with us.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. And now outside Nigeria, Israel has resumed its devastating military assault on Gaza after incessant rocket fire from Palestinian militants killed another soldier, ending an extended humanitarian ceasefire that was rejected by Hamas. The renewed strikes came just 10 hours after Israel said it would observe a truce for another 24 hours, in a move which was not reciprocated by Hamas, which continued firing over the border. The moves came after world powers met in Paris to consider ways of ending 20 days of bloodshed raging in and around Gaza, which has claimed the lives of more than 1,000 Palestinians and 46 people in Israel, following a late-night decision by the Israeli Security Cabinet to extend the break in fighting for another 24 hours, in line with the United Nations request. Gaza residents enjoyed their first quiet night in 3 weeks. But Israel's decision to cease hostilities was not reciprocated by Hamas, which said it would not halt its fire without Israeli armor first withdrawing from the Palestinian enclave. Both Israel and Hamas had respected a 12-hour break on Saturday, but shortly afterwards, Hamas militants fired a barrage of rockets and mortars, one of which killed a soldier, the army said. And after that, Israel said it was resuming its military operations. And that's all we can take on this hour. Join us on top of the hour for more in-depth news and reports. I am Martin Stixon. Enjoy the rest of our programming.